Hey everyone. So today I want to give you a walkthrough of Red Raven and how to get started with the tool. So as a first step, uh, when you go on to the GitHub repo of the platform, you'll see the files over here. You'll also see the documentation of how to use the tool listed over here. As a first step, we'll clone this repo to get started. So let me clone the Red Raven repo. All right, now let's cd into the folder. And inside this folder, you have different scripts. Well, what you'll have to run is the run.sh. Now, it's a bash file, so we have to first make it executable. And then execute it. So this file basically takes care of all the display environment variables for us. All right, so now we can see that the Red Raven tool has started, and we have seen a window pop up over here. To get started with the tool, to start interacting with the tool, we have to confirm that we have the authorization to interact with the network. At the end of the day, this is an offensive tool. This is a security testing tool, a pen test tool. So please do not use it on networks that you do not have authorization to conduct penetration testing, security testing, or any kind of uh, exploitation, etc. So please do um, make that be very careful about it. Like that, make that a point, not to go and run unauthorized scans on any network. Now we have different uh, setup over here. So let's go with network discovery first. So let's say I want to discover a network, and in this case, I'll go with our N254.20.0/24 network. What you can also do is you can also give a file name. So you can also capture raw packets, and you can give that uh, a name. So in this case, I'll just name this as test recap, right? And I can start my discovery. All right, so now we can see on this network, we have certain devices that are active. Usually you can take this list and you can run a port scan on this. But just FYI, we also have a test packet capture that has been created. And I'll show you, you can use TCP dump or you can download it and run it on your Wireshark, but you have a packet capture as well. So that's really cool, something that I added. But if I go to port scanner, you can either just, ideally you would scan ports on the network devices that you see. But in this case, uh, just to show you, you can scan it on an entire subnet. So I'll do a quick scan on 20.0/24, and I'll only scan the top 100 ports or the first 100 ports. You can use a Python scanner or Nmap. I recommend using Nmap because it's more robust. You can start the scan. So in this case, I've just started uh, a, a, a scan on entire CIDR. So let's just wait for this to finish. All right, so we can see we have port 22 open on a lot of devices. Now what we can do is we can pick one of the device over here, 10.254.20.144, and we can see that port 22 is open. So maybe I want to now, as a next step, get more information about this port, right? So let me go there. So this is also a step-by-step behavior that a threat actor or a red teamer would be going through. in order to make sure that they achieve their objective, right? So now that we know port 22 is open, we now need to know what service is running. You could uh, do a banner grabbing over here. And now I can also see what is the specific version of SSH service that is running. I can now look for vulnerability or exploits on this service and see if there's any known documented vulnerability, any POC exploit that I can actually run against this machine. Uh, just for your information, you can also run this banner grabbing on an entire subnet if you want. And not O, but 0. So you can run it on an entire subnet if you want. And you can also run it on multiple ports if you would like to, right? So completely optional, you can do that as well. Now, I also want to quickly walk you through lateral movement. Now, this is really cool as well. So what you see over here is 10 to 54. Let's give an IP. In fact, let's make it a little exciting. Let's see in our attack lab internally in Vectra, how many devices can I reach laterally that are using the default password, username password, right? So I'll just go with Kali and I'll use the default password that I know, right? And I'm going to run netexec. So what it will now do is it will go laterally and it will check how many devices can I get shell or can I get access to with this credential. So it'll start helping me find a potential attack surfaces for lateral movement. So while this is run, it'll take time. Your device, it'll take a bit of a time. It'll take a bit of a time. It'll go IP by IP, device by device. So I'll just stop this for now. But this is one way of running it. Just to show you how will the result look like. So let me just do it on one machine in the interest of time. All right. So once it has a hit on a device, you'll actually see that uh, the message over here. So you can see it was able to log in to the device over SSH, right? So yeah, so you can do it for SSH in a Windows network. You can do it for SMB, WinRM, MS SQL, LDAP, RDP, and also check for VNC if you want. The next tab is brute force. And in brute force, um, let me give 54.20.140. I'll just give one device in the interest of time. You can give the username over here. So I'll just say Kali. And then you have an option to select Hydra, NetExec, or CrackMapExec. Like which tool do you want to use for brute forcing? I'll just go with default Hydra. But you have the flexibility to select. These tools are built in Kali, so you shouldn't have any problem. Just make sure they're upgraded to the latest version. And since this is a Linux environment, I'll change it to SSH. Now, once you do that over here, you can see the command is already automatically generated. What I have also done is I've included default ROQ word list. So if you have no word list, you just want to get started, you can just use the default ROQ word list. But if you have a custom word list, you're using tools like Qul, etc., to create a custom word list from a web page, or you have your own sec list, for example, or other word list, you can just disable the default ROQ. You can create your own word list, or you can upload the word list as well. So completely optional, up to you if you want to do that. Now, if you go to paste word list, which I'm going to show you now, you can create your own word list by typing it over here. So let's just say, I'll just say Kali up and just enter the word list, one word per line without any commas, etc. Right? So you can just whatever word list you have, you can add it over here. Also do note, if you have pasted a word list, obviously then it means that you're going with this word list that you've pasted over here. So the default word list is automatically disabled. This is for user experience. You can go with either one. The other two options automatically get unselected. So now with this, I can run a brute force, and I'll just let Hydra finish. Okay, so it looks like it has finished if I go up. So what I can see over here is it has taken the username. It is now going and trying to brute force this. And if you see over here, it was able to find and connect to the target. So you can see the brute force was successful and one valid password was found, which is change this password. So that was a good work. And this is how we can use the brute force module in Red Raven. Talking about password spray. So let's say if you want to spray passwords, let's just say 254.20.0 this time. And I want to spray this password, and I want to do it on all the Linux machine in Dark Lab. And I can use whatever. So we have already gone with Hydra. Let's go with netexec this time. And I want to check this on SSH, right? And the username that I want to test is Kali, right? So let's just see how many of us are using default username password, and I'll start the password spray. So we'll just let it do its work and come back to us with the results. The good thing is you also see commands over here. So if you want, you can always edit the command if you are interested. But this is more for educational purposes to tell you what the particular command is, right? So you don't have to remember it. You don't have to do anything with it. I mean, you don't really need to bother doing anything with it unless you want to modify the command. Feel free. So take the updated command. You can see password spray with netexec is running. Since I'm spraying password on entire uh, network, and if only I can do it correctly, you see, biggest mistake. Let me just change tab. As you can see, I mean, of course, I made a big boo-boo. It should be /24. Pardon me. So I'll just run password spray again correctly. And let's just wait for it. All right, beautiful. So I can see over here on some devices, we have the shell access. So I can now see 107, 153, 142 to 126. We are all, including myself, guilty as charged. We are all running default moniker credentials in order to access our Kali Linux, right? So we sprayed password. This is what a real threat actor also does. This is what we've seen red teamers also do. Password spraying is a very common technique. Paragraphing, we have seen. Password dumping works on Windows machine. You need to have im packets installed. Im packet package is not default in Kali, so you will have to install it if you want to run the secrets.py is a file inside in packet toolkit. So install that in packet toolkit, wonderful tool, and it'll then automatically use secret.py in order to run hash dumping on Windows machine. I also have an Exfil tab over here. So you have few options. You can either create a dummy Exfil file or a dummy file to Exfil. This is about 200 MB in size, or you can select your own file to Exfil, right? So you have complete option over here, whatever you want to run. By the way, you see this test pcap? This is the packet capture that we created during network discovery, automatically created over here, 836 bytes. Wonderful, isn't it? This over here, right? Okay, let me just cancel this right now. And I have this dummy 200 MB file.bin. This is the file that has been created over here, right? So if you follow my mouse pointer, I'll now start the exfil server, right? And in my case, I do not want to exfil any other file. I just want to exfiltrate this dummy file. Now you have two options. You can either do an internal um, data transfer, data staging, or you can do remotely, or you can do both. So in my case, if I click on remote, you can actually give your remote server address where you want the file to be uploaded. Uh, I don't have an external server running at this point in time, so I'll just say local, and I can change the location, but I'll just keep it to Red Raven, right? The folder that we just created. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Yeah, so the 200 MB dummy file is created. I can select that file. So now you can see we have selected the file, and I can click on simulated expel, and we have exfiltrated. Now in our case, we have copied the file and we have exfiltrated on the same folder. Let me just show you how this looks like. All right, so this is our dummy file, and it should be on this folder. So let's just go to. All right, so we can see our dummy file was successfully moved to local expel destination folder, right? This could be any other folder that you want to move into. Also, we have our test pcap over here that we had seen earlier. So if you want, you can do -R in order to read test pcap, but I'll just have to go one folder. And now let's do so this is the test file that we created during network discovery, and you can see it is now showing us the information and in the test file that was captured, ARP reply, because we had conducted an ARP over there. The network discovery is using ARP messages, so that's where you see the ARP over packets over here. But this is it. This is how simple it is to run Red Raven. Absolutely easy to run. The whole purpose is to make it really straightforward for you to be able to use this tool. Give it a go. It is still version 1. There are a lot of enhancements and improvements that needs to go in. Please do let me know your feedback, and I'll be more than happy to work on your feedback and improve the tool further. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.